Hello everyone, welcome. This is my fourth project. It's called Care. It uses React.js on the front end and Ruby on Rails on the back end. The back end is deployed with Heroku and the front end client is deployed with Netlify. This is a good one. Yeah, this is a really good project in my opinion. I worked a lot on this one. I can't wait to show you this one. It has authentication and it has 10 tables so far, all with associations. So I'll show you the schema here. Actually, if I go to my, do I have an ERD model already on this one? Yeah, I do. So basically, a user has an email, he has a password, and recently I've added a gender and an image. So a user has a name, email, password, gender, birthday, and an image. And he has many foods, so you can track your food, like a food diary. You can track your medications, so like a med tracker. You can like a post, right? So an insight is a post. Um, so you can post an insight, you can edit one, and you can like it as well. Um, a user can track his moods, so when you felt a certain way and why. You can track your symptoms, and you can have like an affirmations, like you can write nice affirmations for yourself. Um, yeah. So for the authentication, we use Bcrypt, and I can show you that. So we have an authentication controller, right? So we find the user by the email, and we give the login params. We require authentication. We permit email and password, right? Yeah, it's basically provided by Bcrypt and has secure password. If we go to the user's controller, okay, so we order the users by created at ascending, right? And when we render the user, we map through the users and we get a user and we get all the attributes except password digest. Even though the password digest is actually hashed, I still don't want to show it because I want to save time when you're talking to the API. Less stuff, it's just faster, right? We don't need this. The reason why I don't show the email is because email is a private thing, and really you shouldn't be able to see someone's email unless he allows you to. So in the future, I'm planning to make this a boolean, and if true, show it. If not, don't. But for now, by default, you cannot see the email. We don't need to see the updated at. Doesn't really matter for us. Because in the app, you can't really, when you go to Facebook, you don't see when a user has updated. You don't see the updated ad field. You see when he updated his picture, but you don't see like when he updated his profile in general, if that makes sense. We have a liked insights field. So yeah, all the posts that he liked basically, we slice all the attributes and then we merge the title of the of the liked insight in the ID, if that makes sense. Um yeah. So if I go to our deployed Heroku server, you can see that I have the user here, his name, but as you see, we don't see his password, right? His password is completely secure. Even though it's hashed, you just can't find it regardless. You can see when he created his account, you can see his gender, his birthday. You can see that he decided not to post an image, whereas this user named Daniel, he decided to share an image, right? And we can see, yeah, that's me. And yeah, um, we can see the liked insights, right? The insight title. Insight is a post basically. We can see the insight ID and the like ID, which is really cool. And now, as I said, a user has many moods, right? He has many medications, symptoms, foods, but those things are private, right? Because that's your own. These stuffs are associated to the user. All the users can see all posts and they can like all posts, but the food diary and the mood diary and the med diary, all of these things are associated and unique to the user, and nobody else can see them unless you are an authenticated user. So, for example, if I go to /moods, nel JSON web token, right? I'm not authorized to see this, right? If I go to users /1/moods, right? That path doesn't even exist, right? So, yeah, if I go to foods, nel JSON web token, medications, nel JSON web token, etc., right? So this is protected. The only thing that is not is the insights, right? Because an insight is a post. So like in Twitter, you can see all your posts, right? So it's kind of a mix of a social media app, but also a private tracker app. So let me show you the front-end app. First thing you're gonna notice is that we are forced to this login screen if we go to /home. That is because we're not logged in. We don't have a web token in here, right? And you can see that in our local storage here, we have dark mode and it's set to light. So we have a dark mode feature in this app and it's actually saved to local storage. So let me show you how the register form works. So we have name, email, password, confirm password, date of birth, gender, and finally we have image upload. So I don't know, let me make this about cats because I like cats. So I can call him kitty kitten, right? And I can do, let's see what happens when I use an email that is taken, right? I'll show you that. Okay, so if I do this, right, and the cool part is that I can check the passwords, right? So if the passwords don't match, let me enter a date of birth. I was born in October 1999, October 20th. Yeah. So now if the passwords don't match, it's going to say password and password confirmation do not match, right? So if they match, and I click registered, it's gonna, right? But you see, this email address is taken, right? This email address already exists. So let's make it kitten@email.com, and let's choose uh, let's choose this picture. And the cool part is that you can just clear it, right? So I can just, if I decided I don't want a profile pic at all, I'm not forced to use the profile pic, actually. It's just an option. So like Facebook, right? If you want to upload, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to, right? And it just uses like a placeholder profile pic thing, I think in YouTube as well or in Twitter. So we have this profile pic here, and let me show you how I do the image upload. So we save it to a base 64 string, the image. And if I go to register.jsx, we have the image preview set to false. We have all users because that's how we find the email thing, the email uniqueness alert, right? So if an email already exists in our handle submit, right? If all users.find and we find the user.email equals to the form data entered email, we set the email uniqueness alert to true, right? So that's kind of cool. I mean, we have a dispatch here. Now, this dispatch comes from useState value, and that is in the current user context, right? So in index.js, we have this current user provider, and the initial state is set to that, right? Initial state. And then we have the reducer, and that is from reducer.js. And then here we have a switch case action going on here. The initial state, the current user is null. And then we have set user and then the action, right? And then the edit user, the action, and then remove user. That's when you log out or when you delete your account. And it says the current user to null, right? Because you log out. So yeah. And the image upload, probably a lot of you who do image upload with links, you're probably curious about how I did that. So I decided to go with base 64 for this approach. The reason why is because Heroku doesn't, like, it only gives you for the free plan 500 megabytes, and I decided to just use to store it as a base 64 string basically. So I do on image selected const img equals to event.target.files of 0 because that's an array and I only want the first index of that array basically, right? And then we have file reader variable. We set it to a new file reader, and then we give an add event listener load, and we set the form data previous state. We spread through the previous state, and then we set the image to file reader.result, and then we set image preview to true, right? And if we have img, right, if we have either targeted files of 0, we go to the file reader variable and we read data as URL, which is a built-in function, img, right? So that's really cool. Then we have select image. We just get the element by image upload, the image ID that click, and then we get the handle. We have handle image clear. So if you click that cross icon, it just clears the image, and it sets the value to an empty string. We set image preview to false. So if I have camera icon, I believe, yeah. So on click select image. So the select image function right here, right? And we have file. Yeah, so input type file, you can see it, and on select, on change, on image selected. So that's how that one works. So now, if I log in, I'm going to go through, and as you see, I have auth token. right? And my account right here. And if I go to settings, I can edit my account. So I can do kitty kitten 2, right? I can decide not to have an image. I can do kitten1@email.com, right? I can confirm my password. There we go. Kitty kitten 2, no image. Look, the image is set to an empty profile pic, right? Like here. Like if I go here, right? It's just an empty image. I can bring the image back or a different image, right? So if I want it again, I just change the password or change the password. I can bring the, and there we go. Real-time use effect going on here. Don't need to refresh. It's live. It happens live. I can change an image. I can have a different image. Maybe this cat, right? Kitty kitten, right? And I can have this one, right? So that's cool, right? Cool. Now dark mode, right? And notice in our application, dark mode is set to dark. Switch state has appeared and it's set to true. Why? Well, true is when it's checked, right? False is when it's open. Why am I doing this? Well, because I want to also remember the spot of the switch in local storage, right? Because what happens if you refresh, right? And this is not remembered, but dark mode is remembered. What's going to happen is that it's going to be like this, but dark mode is going to be true. So that's why I also remember where the switch is. So now if I refresh, it's going to be maintained throughout the app. How do I do that? I have a file called settings.jsx. I have switch state, set switch state. We do an anonymous arrow function for the initial state. If state does not equal to null, if it equals to true, we set it to true in the local storage. Else, we set it to false, right? And else we return. If it does equal to null, we just return false, right? So I'll show you what I mean. Why did I use null, right? Why? Well, wait. Let me show you. If I go to settings.jsx and I put a breakpoint on this one, for example, right? Let me show you something. I could probably just put one in here. And if I go and I delete in my application tab, I delete everything. Actually, I don't want to delete my token. I'll just delete dark mode and switch state, right? And I refresh. Okay. State is equal to null of the switch state, right? Right? So if it does not equal to null, and if it's true, we return true, right? If it's true in local storage, we set the switch to true, else false. But if it does equal to null, we just return false. So look what's going to happen. State is equal to null. And now if you continue, right? And if I do this and I refresh, let's see what happens. State is equal to true, right? If I do this and I refresh, state is going to be equal to false, right? It's not null because we set it already, right? It's already in our local storage. So state is equal to false, as you see. So that's how I do that. Cool. And we have the switch component here. Checked switch state, right? On change, handle theme change, right? That's how I do that, right? And then in our app.jsx, we have a file called dark mode provider. So I use context for this. And I basically just wrap the whole app in dark mode. And here is all the logic for maintaining dark mode, right? Existing preference, local storage.get item, dark mode. If we have an existing preference, if it equals to light, we set dark mode to light. Else, set dark mode to dark. Else, set dark mode to light. Local storage, set item, dark mode to light. That's how I do that, basically. Very similar logic, I guess. If you, I want to save some time to show you other things, but if you have questions, I can make an extended version of this video and show you more about it. But yeah. Okay, let's continue to the rest of the app.
Let me just show you the delete account feature. So if I delete it, are you sure? We get an are you sure modal. I can close it from here. I can exit from here. I can delete it. So let's see what happens. If I go to my network tab, delete, we get a 200 OK, right? And the user is deleted, right? Response, right? 204, no content, delete. Everything got deleted, right? So if I do kitten@email.com, it doesn't exist, right? So that's why. Email and password does not match, right? Now, let's go to an account that I've made before that already exists. I think it's this one. There we go. Okay. I have my profile pic in here. And if I click on this, I can go to my profile. One insight, one post, right? And I can see the post from here. Age, gender, joined, right? Now you're wondering, how did I get the age, right? Because I gave my date of birth when I registered. How did I get the age? Well, I have a function called getAge.js. We get the date of birth in a parameter here. We do today, new date. Birth date, new date, date string is a parameter, right? Age, today, get full year. Birth date, get full year. Let month, let m, today get month. When we subtract birthday, that get month. Now, if and I put some comments here, thankfully. If the value of today's month is less than the month you were born in, that means your birthday hasn't come this year. So if month is less than 0, or month is equal to 0, and today is less than birth date, that get date, we subtract 1 from the age that was calculated by the difference in current year and birth year. And then we return the age, right? So let me show you in user detail. That's the profile page. Age, get age, user.birthday, years old. That's how I do that. Yeah. Okay, let's go and see that post. So you can see that post here. I can edit this post because this is my post, right? I can delete it from here. So if I click delete, are you sure? Exit, I can edit it. So 6 things, right? Submit. It sends me back to here. 6 things, right? So that's the insights page. You can see it from here. So I can edit it from here. Again. Let's say I make a post that I regret and I want to delete it. Delete this one, please. 1111 or something. I can like it, right? Here's a post request for the like. I can delete it, right? Delete 204. This one has 2. This one has 3, and I like this one, right? If I refresh, it's still maintained, right? So let me delete this one. Are you sure? Delete, right? I can delete it from the other page too. So if I go here, right? I go here, delete, right? And the newest post come first. How do I do this? In my Ruby insights controller, insights, inside that newest first, right? And we map how we get the likes. We map through the insight. We get all the attributes except updated at and user ID because we don't care about the user ID because the user ID is nested inside the insight, right? So we can do insight.user.id, right? So that's how I do that. And then we merge the user, right? Insight that user that attributes except password created at email updated at birthday likes inside that likes that map like, and then we don't need the updated at because a like cannot get updated, right? It can only get created or deleted, right? And then in insight card, we have a file called insight cards in insights.jsx. We have queried insights, get insights.map insight, and then we get the insight card. So each insight has an insight card. It has a key. And inside that insight card, we have a use effect where we fetch likes, async, set all likes to insight.likes, right? And then we fetch the likes, and that use effect is dependent on whether or not the insight has likes or not. Now, here's the logic for whether or not a like has been found to the associated user, right? Like that insight underscore ID equals to insight.id. So if the liked insight ID is equal to current user.id, and the likes user ID is equals to the current user ID, it sets the liked state to true, else it's false, right? And then we have the icon here. We have, if not liked, we have the unliked icon, and then we unclick handle like, else we have liked icon, unclick handle unlike. Well, what does this do? Handle like just makes a post request, right? We create the like, await post likes, and we give it two parameters, the user ID and the insight ID, because Rails want these two parameters. If we go to the likes controller, we can see that it wants, in the like parameters, it requires the likes and it permits user ID, insight ID, right? And for the destroying like, if like present, like.destroy. So yeah, if we continue inside the insight card, I have the handle unlike, and like to delete is all likes.find like, and if like.insight ID equals to insight ID and current user ID equals to like.user ID, we destroy the like. The found like, right? We find that like. We set all likes to previous state. The filter like.that ID does not equal to like that to delete that ID. And the reason why I do like disabled is just so you can't spam it. Like this, if I keep pressing a lot, you can spam it. So there's a small couple of seconds where the like disabled is going on here. So it makes it really difficult for a person to just spam the likes, if that makes sense. So I can search for something. If I search like this, it's not gonna work. Only if I press this icon. So how feel live? Here it is, right? Things, right? Feel. So if it finds something, right? Both of them have feel, so it's gonna filter both of them. And it's gonna sort them by which one was created the latest, like Twitter does. But you can search users from here. So if I do Daniel, I can find it here, right? Like Facebook. I can clear this. So now, this is the main app. This is what I was talking about. This app mainly is about tracking everything, your moods, your symptoms, your food, and your medications, okay? This is what I wanted to make for a very long time, and I couldn't do it up until the point where I decided to make this project. That I was ready by then. Um, I've only been programming for 2.5 months at a time. So how are you feeling, right? I click this plus icon. How are you feeling? Today, January 12th, 2021, right? At 7:27 p.m., right? That's kind of cool. Like if I move the camera, here's the time at the bottom of my screen, right? Now, I can say I feel good or great. Actually, I feel great right now. Choose a time. Let's say actually I want to track yesterday's mood at 8 p.m., right? So you see it changes. Wait, yesterday's, I mean. Yeah, yesterday's. You see it changes Sunday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? It's all live. Oh, another thing. If it's past time, how were you feeling? You see that? If it's the future or present, how are you feeling? Right? Isn't that cool? Right? How are you feeling? Please choose a time. Why did you feel this way? Right? Right? So if it's the future, why do you feel this way? It's kind of creepy at this point. Oh my god. But yeah, why did you feel this way? Well, I just felt, oh, caps. I just felt great. Had a good time. Watched some cartoons with nice tea. Okay? And if I save it, I felt great. January 10th, 2021, 8:30 p.m. Right? And if I open this card, right? Here's the reason. I just felt great, had a good time, watched some cartoons with nice tea. I can delete it from here. I can exit this, or I can delete it from here, right? Here's the trash bin icon. I don't know if you see it from this, but if I zoom in, here's a trash bin and edit. I can edit it from here. So I can say, okay, I can choose a time. Why did you feel this way? I don't know. It was okay. I don't know. Right? Okay. Right? I can delete this, right? Like that, right? Um, I can delete this. from the card itself, right? I can create an affirmation basically. Dear Daniel, today I'm brimming with energy and overflowing with joy. And you can see I created this one at Monday, December 7th, 2020, 07:08 a.m., right? And it says my name here, Dear Daniel, because the user is Daniel, right? If I go to a different user, Bob, right? Bob at email.com, and I create one. I'm nice. I don't know. Today, Tuesday, January 12th, 2021, 07:30 p.m. I'm nice. Dear Bob, I'm nice. Right? I can edit it. Right? Right? Yeah, so that's cool. I can delete it from there. Same thing for all of them. And I don't know if you noticed, but when you edit something, there's a small circular progress loading thing going on. Why? Well, if I didn't have it, there would be like a small fraction of a second where the old mood icon or whatever would show, right? And I just want that loading in order to make it less awkward for the user experience. So if I have insights moods container, right? Actually, inside mood card, we have on save. We do handle update form data.id set is refreshed to true, right? And we have this async here. Set timeout async, and what basically happened is refreshed is initially set to false. If it's not refreshed, we just have the mood status. Else we have circular progress. And basically emoji logic is a JS file. If status equals to poor, we return this. If status equals to okay, if status equals to good, if status equals to great, that's it. That's basically what I do. And I take the mood, that status, basically. That's kind of cool. Yeah, else if it's not refreshed, if it is refreshed, we show the circular progress for 800 milliseconds for the user experience. Yeah, and basically how it works is that I have a container for all of my things, for the insights, moods, everything, and handle update, const updated item, await post item, ID, item data, set items, previous state that map item, return item that ID, number ID, updated item, else item, right? Yeah. And then we have the handle create, async item data, new item, await post item, item data, set items, previous state, spread through the previous state, new item, fetch items, async cost item data, await get all items, set items, item data, set loaded true, fetch items dependent on the current user because I'll show you why I do that. If I go to my network tag, there might be a small millisecond where I'm not authorized. There we go, right? Unauthorized for like a small fraction. So what's going to happen is that the use effect is going to happen before the API request, and we're going to get a React error. So what happens? I make this dependent on whether or not we have a current user at all. And that way we're not going to get the error. Okay, so that's how I do that. Okay, so symptoms, same thing. React fever, because I'm really into React. I'm really feeling it today. Right, same thing. Don't have to say that. But yeah. Now, this is a really cool one. This is awesome. I'll show you what I mean. When you create a food, avocado, case insensitive, right? So I can do this, right? When did you eat avocado? Today at 9:30 a.m. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much did you enjoy avocado? 5 stars. What were the leading factors? No symptoms. Felt good. Now, people with IBD or gluten sensitivities, like celiac, you know what I'm talking about. You want to track your food, or any other conditions that are relating to that. I track my food all the time, so it's another reason why I wanted to create this app, right? We have the rating here. And look, we have an avocado icon. Factors, no symptoms. Felt good. Chicken. Right? I can make this like that. The casing doesn't matter, right? 5, again, I love it. I don't know. There it is, chicken. I'll just show you avocado like this. I'll even put a couple spaces. It doesn't matter, right? 5 stars. There it is. Ice cream. Oh boy, that one. You know what I'm talking about. 1 star. Why? Dairy. Dairy caused the flare up. Okay. Yeah. And there we go. We have an ice cream icon right here. Yeah. I can delete it. I can edit it. So if I open the settings icon, I can close the edit options like this. I can edit it, and maybe let's say 2. You know, maybe it wasn't that bad, right? Same thing, ice cream 1, right? So it doesn't matter if I add a number. It remembers that I made ice cream, right? If I separate the space between them, right? It still works. If I do cheese, look at this one. This one is cool. Regex people, you know what I'm talking about. Cheese, right? Cheeseburger, right? Cheeseburger icon. Hamburger, right? And I'm not using an API. Hamburger icon. How did I do this? Okay. Man, this is a good one. This is a really good one. We do, if it's not refreshed, food name JSX, food, right? I have a function called food name JSX. Here's the file, foodutils.js. Well, we have key value pairs here. Avocado, icon, chicken, icon, hamburger, icon, all the things here. We have the regex here. Avocado or chicken or hamburger or burger. Cheese in a group, right? Pizza, cheeseburger, steak, meat, milk, blah, blah, blah. Ice cream, question mark because we want a space in between these. We want to allow a space in between these. Cookie and watermelon, right? And I can keep adding an item. Now, we have the function food name JSX. We take the food as a parameter. Const result, we create a variable called result. Food. And if you don't know what this question mark is, it's just optional chaining. So if this item doesn't exist, it's not going to go through. That way I don't get an error, right? Okay, so food.name to lowercase. We force the name to lowercase. We trim all these spaces, and then we run a match built-in function on the food regex, right? So that's the result variable. It matches to this regex list here. If we have a result, we return food map, this variable, this map, this key value pairs, result of 0, right? The first result, the first index in this span. This is just for accessibility. I do role img area label food.name. This is just spacing. Like instead of nbsp, I just do this, just for a little bit more. And food.name. Else we have the restaurant icon with the space here, food.name. So I'll show you. So if the name doesn't match, it's just going to do this, right? It's just a restaurant icon. Now you're probably still confused about how this works, right? So if I show you in the console, if I do let result, let's just create a variable, okay? And now food map equals chicken, and then we can do icon for chicken, and then avocado, icon for avocado, right? Okay. If we do food map and we do avocado, we get icon for avocado, right? If we do result equals avocado or chicken, right? We can do food map result of 0. Icon for chicken, right? If we do result avocado, if we map that result to 0, icon for avocado. I hope that helps you understand the logic a little bit better. If you still have any more questions, let me know. Basically, the match functions just returns an array. That's why we have to make the result equal to an array. So yeah, I hope that explains it for you. I don't know if you remember, but I had a second project called RX Guide. That's also a React app. Basically, it uses Airtable API for the backend. And what I do here is when I make a med, so when I track one, it maps through all the medications that exist in that other app, right? So if I do Prozac, why do you take Prozac? Okay, so let's say, I don't know, anxiety, right? Or whatever reason. 8 a.m. is a good time, I guess. Let's say at 30, right? Okay, so now that time already passed, right? So it says you were supposed to take Prozac at January 12th, 2021, 08:30, right? If I go here, that time was already passed, right? We're in 7 p.m. So if I open the card, it says, did you take it? You can click not yet, or you can click yes. And we have the class here. It says antidepressant, right? How? I'll show you that later. Because we didn't enter a class for it when we created it, right? Well, I'll show you that. I'm supposed to take Prozac because, and here's the reason. Did you take it? Yes, you took it, right? And now we can delete it. You took Prozac at January 12th, 2021, 07:45 p.m., right? That's when I clicked and I said I took it, right? And I can delete it from here. So now let's say I create the med in the future, right? Why do you take it? Well, let's choose a different one. Let's say Humira. And let's say a minute from now, right? 7:49. Why do you take it? Let's say this, right? Okay. You have to take Humira at January 12th, 2021, 07:49 p.m. Okay? It's the future, right? We have a minute from now. If you look at the bottom now, or the top here, let's see what happens when it reaches 7:49. Yeah, it says you were supposed to take Humira at 07:49, right? Whereas before it says you have to. So that's how I do that. I'll show you how I do it. And then did you take it? Yes, right? And then I can delete it, right? I can edit it from here. Let's say I didn't take it, right? So I can put it in the future. You have to take it, right? I can put it back to the past. You were supposed to. Now, if you're a programmer, you know that like it's a never-ending cycle of features that you have to think about. But yeah, let's show you. If I go to meds.jsx, same thing. We map through all the meds. We have med card. We have taken, set taken, use state false. Re-render, toggle. That's how I get it to say you were supposed to take it live without having to refresh. Use state false. Timer ID, use ref null, right? So use effect. If compared date with current time, med.time equals to -1, let delay equals new date, med.time, we get the time by milliseconds, we subtract date.now. If timer ID.current, clear timeout, timer ID.current, else timer ID.current equals set timeout, async, not async, sorry, toggle render, opposite value, right? And we have the delay here. So the delay is that, right? So that's kind of cool. And then it's dependent on med.time. And if not taken and compared it with current time, and if it's less than 0, it says you have to take it. If it's equal to 1, if it already has passed, you were supposed to, right? If it's taken, you took it at med.updated that. So let me show you that function. Compared it with current time. Oh boy. There you go. We have current time equals new date at get time. Select the time, new date in the parameters, get time. If current time is less than the selected time, we return -1. My comment here is wrong. Else, if current time is greater than selected time, we return 1. If the two values are equal, return 0, right? That's it. So if the result is equal to that, we just do that, right? So we know what it is because we set it here, right? Current time less than, return -1. Current time greater than, return 1. So that's how I know when to use, what numbers to use, and when and why, and how. I hope that explains it. And for the formatting of the dates, we use React library called Moment. We format it by whatever we want to. So in this case, month, 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 date, date, years, hours, minutes, AM, PM, is time zone, and the item. Hope that explains that part. When we create a med, oh, sorry, med create, blah, med create. The reason why I use medication class is because class is a reserved word in Ruby. So I actually had to use medication underscore class. Hope that explains it. Const mids, react the children to array, args guide mids.map mid, option mid that fills that name, right? The reason why I use react the children to array is to give everything its key. In this case, right? Because it doesn't really make sense to give each option a key by ID. Just use react the children to array if it's that case, right? And also it's from a different API, so like doesn't matter, I guess. We have the handle change here. Let name value equal to e.target. If name equals time and value, late date equals to new date, and then we take the value. Value equals date to ISO string. Set form data previous date. We spread through the previous date, and then we destructure the name, and like the name is the value basically. Handle selected med name value e.target. Set form data previous date. Spread through the previous date. Same thing. Handle submit. That's how I do it. Medicine equals to args guide meds that find med, where the med that fills that name equals to form data that name. Selected med data equals to spread through the form data. Image equals to medicine that fills that image. That's from the Airtable API. Medication class, medicine that fields that med class. Right, so we didn't have to enter it because it's here. On save, selected med data. That's how I do that. Yeah. I could explain this much better. If you have any more questions, let me know. I know, like the first time I saw this handle change, like how you write the handle change, I was like, what the heck is this? This can take a lot of time to explain in a more elegant way. If you do want a video where I explain this, let me know, and I'll try to explain that. But yeah, that's basically it for this page. You have the community where you can search for a user. So here's Daniel, users.jsx, for example. Queried users equals to get users.map user. And then we get the link with the image and the name, right? Get users is all users. That filter user. User.name to lowercase includes search to lowercase, right? We set search to an empty string, right? And we have the queried users here, right? That's it. That's why I do that, right? And then we have search.jsx. And this is different. This is not a different component. So the placeholder changes based on location.path name, right? Right. So if it equals to that, return this. If not, return this. Handle search if search enable. Yeah, we have all these things here. And unchange handle search. Value search. Placeholder check path function. You can pass functions to placeholder. Yep, you can do that. That's most of the project, I guess. Another thing, if you put a path that doesn't exist, sorry, it doesn't exist. How do I do this? In app.jsx, we have all these paths here, and we have root path star asterisk, component not found. And if we go inside, we see that we have a check validity location.path name, right? So if it's true, we don't return anything. Else, we return this error component, right? Let me show you. So in check validity.js, we have all these. We have a whitelist array of all things here. And basically, what this function does is that it loops through the whitelist array, and then we do for let URL of whitelist if URL.test path. So if it's true, right? So if it's in here, right? The path here is location.path name, right? It's a parameter here. Check validity location.path name. If it's true, we don't go to this component error. Else we return false, and then this fires, and we go to this component. And we do sorry location.path name that replace the string with an empty, the slash with an empty string doesn't exist. That's because slash is a part of location.path name. And we have a nav link to slash go back. That's why I do that. So yeah, that's my project care. I'm not sure if I covered everything, but if you have any more questions, let me know. I'll make sure to answer them. And yeah, this is my project. Hope you enjoyed that video, and hope you check my other project. And yeah, see you in another time. Thank you. Goodbye.